The woods is where it begins. A man walks there, dressed specifically to protect himself from a dangerous environment. He drags a girl with him in a sled, who appears to be unconscious. The danger of this environment is zombies. There are several of them coming closer to the survivor, perhaps feeling that he no longer has a chance of staying alive. At that moment, he discovers a hatch to an underground area, so he gets inside. But for an unknown reason, he leaves the girl up there. Suddenly, someone knocks him out with the butt of a gun. The survivor wakes up on the floor. A man sits before him, talking in another language. Realizing that the one he knocked out does not speak it, he switches to English. He asks the survivor how he found the place, but the man is not sure how it happened. The sitting man points a rifle at him, demanding to know if someone sent him there. The survivor states he was on the run with his daughter. Her locket fell on the hatch. That's how he found the place. This does not satisfy the man with the rifle. He wants better answers. So far, we see he is a pressing man. This prompts the survivor to take out the locket. He says it fell on the hatch and made a metallic sound. It belongs to his daughter, Kathy. That piques the rifleman's curiosity. He asks where she is. She did not make it, says the survivor. He adds they were in a cabin for a few days that had many supplies. The cabin's location, with all its supplies, is what intrigues the rifleman. He wants to know if the survivor knows how to find it. After saying he believes he can, the rifleman expresses his gladness. He introduces himself as Conrad. The man on the floor says he is Seamus. Then Conrad helps Seamus into a more comfortable position. We see the place they are in is untidy, though it should provide good security from the threats above. Conrad tells him he has been there for maybe 1 year. He also says they are glad Seamus came, because they need more supplies. Seamus questions the plurality of the word, they. To clarify for him, Conrad says he is there along with his wife. What she needs is medicine. Following that, Conrad brings him to another room where his wife, Mila, is lying in bed. He informs Seamus she has been in a coma for a few weeks. He points to what he needs to support her. Seamus seems unnerved, seeing Mila in such a condition. Shortly after, Conrad tells him that people used to do experiments there, and they hear zombies howling outside. It sounds like they are attacking a lady. Seamus, being a decent individual, says they have to do something. But Conrad just wants them to be quiet. Not listening to the man, Seamus starts climbing the ladder. But Conrad brings him down. To show more of his dark side, he slams Seamus's head against the floor. Later, Conrad tells him they don't ever go up to the surface. Then he orders Seamus to never enter his wife's, or his, room. He wants the newcomer to look at him and tell him that he understands. We see now just how unpleasantly controlling the man is. Seamus does as Conrad wants. In response, the man wears a smile. Compliance with him is key to being on his good side. Before going to sleep, Conrad dares to call Seamus his friend. As the outsider sleeps, he dreams of walking outside with Kathy. Once she falls to her knees in pain, he wakes up. He witnesses Conrad touching Mila. It causes him to lie back down and cover himself. On the next day, Conrad shows him all the supplies they have left. Seamus reasons they might last for only 10 days. After that, he tells Conrad he was taking his daughter to an island. There is a functional society there. However, being antagonistic, Conrad remarks that that place doesn't exist. He asks if Seamus has met anyone who's been there. After the man says he hasn't, Conrad says it's just a story to give people hope. Yet Seamus is optimistic. He believes it would not hurt to search for that place. There is no life down where they are. Conrad's final response is that he thinks the plague will eventually vanish. That is when they resurface. Late at night, or early morning, Seamus wakes up from another dream with Kathy. He goes into Mila's room, even though Conrad ordered him not to. When he is very close to her, she startles him by grabbing his arm and warning the man that she is not Conrad's wife. What she is a prisoner, who pretends to be in a coma to make her stay with Conrad easier. She urges him to return to bed, or else Conrad will destroy them both. Soon enough, the kidnapper comes out to see that Seamus is asleep. Then he comes to Mila to start engaging in a very indecent activity with her. As if the man wasn't bad enough already, now we see he is despicable. Seamus comes in to see it. Perhaps he wants to do something, but Mila motions with her mouth for him to leave, so he does what she wants. While he lies there, he is bothered by what is happening, along with his inability to act. On the next day, Seamus questions Conrad about how he knows what happened to the soldiers that were there at an earlier time. The man answers that he met one of them. The soldier showed him this place, but soon got surrounded by zombies in the woods. Seamus reasons that if the soldiers are now zombies, they could find this bunker. Though Conrad firmly disagrees with this, he also reminds him that he has been here for over a year. Can Seamus trust what this man is saying? After all the vile actions he witnessed him take, he probably knows to disbelieve any information from him that could be important. Shortly after, Seamus points to someplace and asks what is in there. Conrad warns him not to go there, because that's where the experiments happened. While they drink alcohol, Seamus pours his portion back into the container as Conrad checks on Mila. He wants to stay alert when dealing with such a troublesome person. Afterward, Conrad talks about how he met Mila, and Seamus reveals he was married. He lost his wife to the zombies. However, Kathy passed away from an illness he does not know about. At that moment, they hear a sound like an explosion from above. Debris even falls from the ceiling. It soon returns to normal, so they stop worrying. At another time, Seamus wakes up to see Conrad lying on Mila. This allows him to enter the area Conrad told him to stay away from. but he can't do anything there anyway, because the door is chained with a lock. So he enters Conrad's room instead. There is a computer there that he uses to watch a video. It has several people there at the bunker. The one filming is revealed to be Conrad. The last video he watches shows Conrad getting into trouble with them for an unknown reason. Now he sees that the man lied to him about the soldiers. They were living in the bunker all this time. He also finds a key near the keyboard. Just in time, Seamus returns to see Conrad getting up. This prompts him to lie down, pretending to sleep. When Conrad goes into his room, Seamus goes back to the locked area. He uses the key he found and enters the room. Inside, he finds many lifeless bodies wrapped in plastic. They are the soldiers he saw in the videos. Now that he has discovered the ugliest truth, what will his plan be? If Conrad managed to eliminate all those soldiers by himself, it shows how dangerous he is. Following that, Seamus places the key back where he found it. He observes that Conrad is asleep. Then he comes to Mila, who tells him to take Conrad's life while he's sleeping. Yet Seamus wants to flee with her instead because he's not a murderer. He shows care for her by bringing the lady a tin of food. He also reveals to her that the cabin he spoke of to Conrad only has a few supplies left, rather than many. He lied to him because he was scared Conrad would shoot him. Furthermore, he shows her a map of the island, saying they should go there. But Mila states she isn't in any condition to outrun zombies. Seamus assures her she could make it, because she was able to get this far. She also reminds him of his daughter. Soon enough, they hear Conrad coming, so Seamus leaves to pretend to sleep again. However, he forgot his locket there. Later, we see Conrad sitting near Seamus as he sleeps. He looks at the locket that now lies near Seamus. When the man wakes up, Conrad rudely asks him how it was to be intimate with Mila. Seamus sits up in disbelief at such a question, but Conrad mentions that he forgot the locket in her room. After that, he goes on to describe the brutality of the penalties for adultery that existed during the Ming Dynasty in China. He attempts to scare Seamus with them, though the man insists he didn't do anything like that with Mila, so Conrad lets it go. He switches the conversation to military training, asking if Seamus has any. The man tells him he has none, he was a mechanic. This prompts Conrad to hand him a knife. He wants Seamus to attack him. After some hesitation, he goes for it. Yet the trained man skillfully subjugates him as he brings him down. On the floor, he intimidates Seamus, demonstrating many harmful things he could do to him. Once he gets off him, Seamus gasps in terror. In a short while, Conrad informs the man he keeps harassing that he needed to do that to prepare him for his outside journey, although his real reason may have been to take his frustration out, in addition to flexing his love for dominance. He then says that without Mila, he would not want to live. They speak of a gyrocopter next, one that Seamus saw and believes he could fix. He also thinks he might be able to fly it. Conrad also wants Seamus to teach him how to operate it, in case Seamus should lose his life. He tries to make it sound like anything could happen in their current environment, but Seamus interprets it more cautiously. It is coming from a murderer after all. Regardless of what he thinks Conrad might do, he says he will teach him after he returns. At some other time, Seamus goes to speak with Mila again, while Conrad sleeps. He informs her that they will leave tomorrow, while Conrad is asleep. She wants him to take the man's life, but Seamus firmly says he won't do it. He talks of Conrad being a coward, who won't risk his life to go after them, because he's scared of zombies. He knows the zombies will not let him control them, while Seamus will do whatever he can to protect Mila. We see that they are ready to put their plan into motion. Will it work? We don't know how difficult it is out there, yet Seamus has faith. Losing his wife and daughter might make him extra motivated to protect Mila, especially since she reminds him of Kathy. At a later hour, Conrad asks Seamus if he's ready for tomorrow, to which the man responds he is. Then they come in to look at Mila. She opens her eyes briefly, and Conrad catches it. Due to that, he tries talking to her. It soon escalates to him touching the lady. Seamus is bothered by this, telling him to leave her alone. He gets him to do it by saying they should have a drink. However, Conrad disapproves of drinking before the day of Seamus's journey. Only 1 cup is what he asks for, so Conrad gives in. While they drink, they talk about what the zombies are. Conrad believes they are a different species, yet Seamus thinks the zombies are just different versions of humans. After that, Conrad can't get Mila's blinking out of his mind. Therefore, he starts coming to her again. But Seamus won't have any more of it, and strikes the wicked man with a metal pipe a few times. It knocks him unconscious, so now he can leave with Mila. The lady struggles to walk, though Seamus supports her. In this moment of urgency, he realizes he doesn't have his locket on him. He cannot leave it behind, causing him to search for it in Conrad's room. There he finds the gun, with the 1 bullet he entered the bunker with. Then he finds his beloved locket. Much to his despair, he leaves the room to see Conrad holding a knife to Mila. Seamus points his gun at the man, but Conrad's threat is strong. He makes him put the gun down because Seamus cares for Mila. Subsequently, they regather themselves and start going outside to continue with their plan. Once they venture there, Seamus starts fighting right away. Yet the skillful man brings him down again, stating he knew Seamus would try that. As Conrad holds him down with a knife, he tells him he will forget about this if Seamus does his job. That is when Mila comes out to shoot the man. Conrad touches his wound, anguishing over fragile mortality. Following that, he struggles to climb back into the bunker. He falls halfway in doing so. To Mila, however, his pain is not enough. She sees a zombie walking, which she lures into the bunker. Many zombies enter, because she leaves it open. Conrad is injured by the bullet, along with the fall. He cannot fight them, as they come at the man to take his life away. He had a long survival in that bunker, and now he joins the rest of the soldiers there. Meanwhile, Seamus walks with Mila in the woods, being seen by zombies. It is uncertain how far the duo will get, given that they have no weapons. If they collected Conrad's knife, it will surely give them some benefit, but their best option is probably to run and hide.